Hey everyone, this week I'll be showing you guys how to make some homemade empanadas. These are not traditional by any sense, but wanted to do my own filling based on leftover ingredients I had. This is definitely a labor of love, so it requires some time and effort, but I say it's worth it. Before we start, I want to say that apparently a lot of my viewers still aren't subscribed, so if you've been enjoying my cooking content, leave a like and subscribe, it does help. So we're going to start with the empanada dough because it has to rest in the fridge. Here I have 2 eggs with 100 grams of water. I'll add half a stick or around 55 grams of melted butter. Give everything a good mix, and then, for the dry ingredients, I have 400 grams of all-purpose flour, 10 grams of baking powder, and 10 grams of salt. I'm going to mix everything together, and then once no dry flour remains in the bowl, plop it onto a work surface, knead it for 4 to 5 minutes until the ball becomes smooth. You can definitely do it in a stand mixer as well, but I felt like doing some cardio. Once everything is nice and smooth, we're going to now separate it into 12 equal portions. Whip out your scale and then start separating them into balls. Once you separate the dough into 12 pieces, wrap it up with some saran wrap and stick it in the fridge to let it rest while we prep the rest of the filling. For the filling, I'm going to have some caramelized onions, sauteed peppers, and ground beef. We're going to cut 3 onions into slices. For the peppers, we're going to dice it up. I'm also going to mince up 4 cloves of garlic as well. Now for the tedious part of caramelizing onions. We'll add the onions with some oil to a pot. Make sure to salt it as well, as this will help draw out the moisture from the onions. So the process itself is not hard, but it's definitely time consuming. We're going to be basically waiting until all the water is drawn out of the onions and they start to brown slowly. The onions will slowly turn from looking white like this to eventually something like this. You can see some fond developing on the bottom of the pan, and if it starts to almost burn, feel free to add some water to deglaze the pan to prevent it from burning. Eventually, your caramelized onions should look something like this. I thought this was good enough, but feel free to go even further where it almost actually becomes like a jam. I'm going to scoop this up into a bowl to reserve for later, and then I'm going to start searing my ground beef. Here's 1 pound of ground beef, which we will now brown. Add some salt and pepper as well. Leave this undisturbed for a bit so then the crust can form on the bottom of the ground beef. I also add a little bit of chili flakes as well so it gets a bit of a kick. Whoops, almost forgot about the oregano as well. When the beef is finally nice and brown, we can start adding in our minced garlic and diced up peppers. We're going to saute these a bit until it becomes fragrant. I have some semi-defrosted tomato paste from the freezer. I'm going to chip off around, I would say, 1 tablespoon worth. Proceed to let this cook a bit to mellow out the acidity. I will now add in around 1/4 cup of red wine to deglaze the pot. This will start combining with the meat, so let it reduce a bit until it becomes cohesive, and then it's kind of like a small meat sauce. When the wine has been cooked down a bit, we can start to combine our meat filling with our caramelized onions. Give this a good mix and we'll let this cool for a bit while we prep the rest of our filling ingredients. I have above me 8 ounces of Monterey Jack cheese. I don't have footage of me shredding it, but you get the point. I'm also going to mince up half a bunch of parsley. So let me explain why we want the meat mixture to cool down just a bit. We want to do so because when we add in the cheese and the parsley, we don't want the cheese to melt too quickly or it's going to become a mess to mix. Add your minced up parsley and your cheese as well, and then start incorporating everything together. Yeah, I use my hands like a caveman sometimes when things are a little bit too much, but it's okay. They're clean anyway. Once everything is cohesive like this, we can finally start to make our empanadas. Flour your work surface a bit and your dough ball as well. And now we're going to try roll it out in a circle relatively thin. Take your time. This is going to take a little bit of effort. If it starts sticking to the work surface, feel free to add a little bit of flour as well. Once thin enough, I would say around 4 to 5 inch diameter, we can put in our filling. I try to put a generous portion, but do note you still have to wrap this empanada, so don't go ham. I made a couple that had too much filling, but if it ever overflows, it's not a big deal. We're not selling these. When you finish placing your filling, wet your fingertips with some water. I use this cup right here. I'm going to then wet the bottom half of the empanada dough. This will help stick it when we wrap the dough over the filling. Once you place it over the filling, make sure you press down to push out any air pockets and try to make sure it's sealed. So you can bake these now, but I like to fold over the edges bit by bit and then seal the edge that way. I'll take my index finger and my thumb, pinch it, and fold it over, then press it down with my other hand. Another way you can just do, which is a lot more simple, is crimp the edges with a fork as well. Doesn't really do too much except make it have a nicer pattern, but you can see why this is a labor of love. Voila! 1 empanada done, 11 more to go. Told you this was time consuming, but hey, I had a bunch of time over the weekend, so why not? I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit while I finish the rest. Once you have all your empanadas done, time to brush it with an egg wash, as I'll be baking these instead of frying them. The egg wash is basically 1 egg beaten with a splash of milk. When you brush this over the empanadas and bake them in the oven, you're going to get a nice golden brown sheen when you take them out of the oven. So we'll be baking these empanadas for around 25 to 30 minutes, or basically golden brown like I mentioned before. They should look something like this. Nice. I'll let these rest for 5 to 10 minutes as these are molten hot. Unfortunately, I forgot to record myself with the cross section in the middle, showing you the filling and the crust, but let me tell you, this filling was immaculate because how can you go wrong with caramelized onions? I hope you guys all give this a try when you have the time and let me know what you think in the comments below. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and follow my Instagram at WeekendCooks. Thanks for your support everyone.